we're from the Collins Creatures. Today I'm at Clyde Peelings Reptiland in their Budgie Aviary. The scientific name of the Budgie is Melopithecus undulatus, and they are also known as the common parakeet, the shell parakeet, or the budgie. Most commonly being called the budgie. You can kind of guess why, because Budgie is kind of a mouthful. They are from the outback of Australia and can often be seen swarming around bodies of water in the thousands. They are very stingy when it comes to the food sticks that they have here, and they will fight each other off of it. They have been introduced to other parts of the world, such as Puerto Rico, Mexico, and Florida. Unlike other introduced species which become invasive and destructive, they have not become overpopulated and a problem because other birds outcompete them for nesting sites. They are a small parrot that gets around 7 inches in length, though they seem to be larger in captivity. They like to nibble on my fingers. They have a small beak covered that's hidden by lots of little feathers. They have a cere, which is a fleshy thing above their beak. They are blue on males and brown on females, which means that this one is a female. Their heads are yellow and their backs are also yellow. Their bodies are green and their tails are a cobalt blue. And on their cheeks they have 2 blue spots. And in captivity there is a bunch of different genetic mutations that make them look blue, yellow, green, violet, white, and gray, and a bunch of other colors. And in the wild, they also, on their backs of their heads, backs, and wings, they have black markings. Budgies can have color vision, and they can see in the ultraviolet spectrum. Being able to see in ultraviolet makes them able to see different colors. This is a cockatiel that is sharing the stick with the budgie on my left hand, and the ultraviolet enhances them so they can find mates. The cheek spots reflect UV, and that helps the parakeets differentiate between each other. In the wild, budgies are omnivores, and while they mostly eat grain seed, which is what's on the sticks, they will also eat fruit, nectar, and insects. Budgies are one of the most common pet birds, and so let's talk about their captive care. This budgie care has a lot of parts, so this is just the basics. If you want a budgie, please look up the complete care. While the zoo has a ton of birds and uses this whole aviary, the average person will have far less. So the adequate size enclosure is a 32 by 18 by 20 for a pair. Though the best size is the largest size thing that will fit in your house and fits your budget. The reason I said a pair is because budgies are social animals, so unless you know that you give your bird lots of attention, it may be best to get multiple. Budgies benefit from UVB lighting. So a UVB bulb specific for birds that is active for 10 to 12 hours a day is necessary for proper calcium metabolization and vitamin D production. But it is necessary to give them a day-night cycle, as too much light will make them overstimulated. Budgies need toys to play with, so getting bird-specific toys that are good for their size is needed to keep them nice and active. Out-of-cage time is also beneficial so they can get flying time and exercise. Just make sure they're contained in a room and well-supervised and away from potentially dangerous objects like a ceiling fan or a hot plate. Some necessities include several perches, especially an abrasive one to help keep their nails trimmed, and a food and water dispenser, and make sure that the perches are out of line with their food and water so they don't poop into their food and water. Birds poop a lot, so make sure that the cage is well cleaned. These cockatiels have just kicked off these parakeets from this stick. Luckily, I still have this stick here. The main diet for a captive budgie should be a formulated pellet diet specifically designed for small birds. Fruit and leafy greens can also be given, and as seeds are a part of their wild diet, they should also be given. Budgies are social animals. Whether they're playing together or bickering over food, they require social time. So, while they are social and affectionate towards you, if they are not raised around people or aren't given enough socialization, they may become distant or cold towards you. So make sure that you socialize your birds and you make sure that they're well loved. And if all of this is done, budgies can make awesome little pet birds. This cockatiel really wants to steal this food from these budgies. I have a new friend, Kaylin. So Kaylin, what do you think of the budgie enclosure?
I think it's really nice. I have budgies all over me.
So, this is an awesome experience. It's really cool to check out if you're at Clyde, Peelings, Reptiland. And budgies are just awesome little birds. They're super cute and they're fun to be around, especially when they're all pecking at your feet and tickling your ankles. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like my videos, and I'll see you on Colin's Creatures.